Hello students, how are you? So in the previous video we had completed the chapter windstorms and cyclones. Today in this video we will be discussing some keywords, or you can say what you have learned, and the exercise questions of this chapter. Okay students, I hope you have watched the previous videos of this chapter, and as it is told to you that you have to make the notes of the chapters that has been taught to you in the videos. Okay, so let's start. Some of the keywords that we have studied in this chapter are anemometer. You know anemometer, it is an instrument that is used to measure wind. Okay, then there is cyclone, we have discussed it thoroughly. Hurricane, lightning, low pressure, monsoon winds, pressure, thunderstorms, tornado, typhoon, and wind flow pattern. Okay, these all the words we have discussed. We discussed wind flow pattern, we discussed the low pressure area, high pressure area, we discussed the monsoon winds, what is the region for the monsoon winds. Then we discussed the thunderstorms, that why the lightning occurs and how does that go. The cold air, the warm air is heavy, so sorry light, so it goes up in the atmosphere, and the cold air is heavy, so it is downwards. Okay, then tornado, similarly typhoon also, and wind flow pattern according to the high pressure and the low pressure area. We discussed that the wind flows from high pressure area to low pressure area. Okay, and more the difference between the pressure areas. Okay, the higher the difference between the pressure areas, the higher will be the speed of the wind. Okay, now next one is what you have learnt. Okay, so first point in what you have learnt is air around us exerts pressure. Definitely, we discussed it with the help of an activity in which I told you that a can is filled with a steam, or you can say boiling water, we can say, okay, very hot water. So when cold water is applied, or you can say poured on the can, then the can crushes, or you can say it changes its shape, distorted. Why? Because the amount of steam, amount of water vapor inside the can gets decreased, okay, becomes less. So that's why the outer pressure becomes high, and that's why the shape of the can distorts. Okay, second one, air expands on heating and contracts on cooling. Very important point when we discuss that the warm air is light in weight. Why? Because on heating it expands, and as soon as it expands it becomes lighter. Okay, and similarly it contracts on cooling. So that's why we said that the hot air is lighter and the cool air is heavier, okay, in comparison to each other. Clear? So air around us exerts pressure, air expands on heating and contracts on cooling. Third one, warm air rises up whereas comparatively cooler air tends to sink towards the earth's surface. The same phenomena. Why? Because the warm air is lighter, and why it is lighter? Because it expands on heating. Okay, so the warm air rises up whereas comparatively cooler air tends to sink towards the earth surface. Next, as warm air rises, the air pressure at that place is reduced and the cooler air moves to that place. Very important. As the warm air rises, the air pressure at that place is reduced and the cooler air moves to that place. Okay, the moving air is called wind. Clear students? What is wind? The moving air. It can depend on the speed, that how much speed is, and it depends on the pressure difference. I told you, more the pressure, more the difference in the pressure, accordingly. Okay, uneven heating on the earth is the main cause of wind movements. This we have discussed very in the earlier videos, that uneven heating of the earth is the main cause of wind movements. Okay, I told you that the land becomes comparatively fast heat in comparison to water. Okay, so that's why the air above the land also gets heated faster, and that's why it rises up and the region becomes of low pressure area. Okay, so in the coastal areas the wind blows from sea to land during the daytime because the land becomes faster quickly. Okay, this we discussed also in the breeze when we discussed sea breeze. Okay, so this was uneven heating on the earth is the main cause of wind movements. Okay, we also discussed that at different heights also, because of that, as soon as we climb up the altitude, as soon as the altitude increases, then the temperature also decreases. It is very easily depictable. For example, if you live in plains area and you come towards Nainital or any higher hill station, then definitely you will see a drop in the temperature. Why? Because you are coming up to an altitude, you are climbing a mountain, so definitely the height is increasing, and height is increasing, so the temperature also decreases. Okay. Next, winds carrying water vapor bring rain. Okay, this we have discussed many times, because what happens once the evaporation takes place, and that evaporation has water vapor in it, but going up there, or you can say going at a height, the temperature is low, so therefore the condensation takes place, and because of condensation the water vapor again converts to water, and finally in the form of rain they fall on the surface of the earth. Okay. High speed winds and air pressure difference can cause cyclones. Okay, so these are the two reasons that high speed winds and air pressure difference can cause cyclone. It has become easier to monitor cyclones with the help of advanced technology like satellites and radars. Okay. Self-help is the best help, therefore it is better to plan in advance and be ready with a defense against any approaching cyclone. Very important. Okay, students, so these are the some points, you go through them again. Okay, I'm giving you the time, read these points again, because these are very important points. Yes, students, so let's move forward. The following flowchart will help you to understand the phenomena that lead to the formation of clouds and falling of rain and creation of storms and cyclones. Okay, we will discussing a flowchart. So the following flowchart, what will it help? It will help you to understand the phenomena that lead to the formation of clouds and falling of rain and creation of the storms and cyclones. Okay, see, first the difference of temperature between the two regions. Definitely there need to be a difference of temperature between two regions. What does it do? It sets the convection in air. Why? Because if the temperature difference will be there, so the place with having more temperature or higher temperature, the wind or air will be warmer at that place, and the air with the place where air will be warmer, the air will rise up, and that region will become of low pressure. Okay, and similarly if we talk about the temperature where is low, what will happen, the air will be relatively cool and it will not rise up so easily. Okay, so there will be high pressure. Okay, so the difference of temperature between two regions, it sets convection in the air. Warm air rises creating a low pressure area, and cool air converges to the low pressure area. Okay, once the warm air rises, so it creates a low pressure area, and the place just where the temperature is low, there is high pressure area. Why? Because the cool air is heavy, so it does not rises, so there is high pressure area. And I told you that always the wind travels from air travels from high pressure area to the low pressure area, and in this case also, because there is the pressure difference, so the air will move from high pressure area to the low pressure area. Okay, so that's the next point, the cool air converges to the low pressure area. Next is warm air rises, cools, and water vapor condenses to form clouds. Warm air rises, cools, and water vapor condenses to form clouds. This is the same process of what we discussed or what you have studied in a water cycle. Okay, warm air rises, it cools, and water vapor condenses to form clouds. Bigger water drops in the cloud fall to the ground as rain or snow. Okay, falling water droplets and rising air move vigorously to produce thunderstorm. What I told you. Okay, see, the water droplets are falling and rising air, and the air is rising. What happens? Because of friction, continuous rubbing, they are rubbing each other continuously, so vigorous, and this produce thunderstorm. Okay, under certain weather conditions storms may develop into cyclones. Okay, so the main aspect, you can say, or the main condition that is required for a thunderstorm is the difference of the temperature between the two regions. Okay, difference of the temperature between the two regions, it sets the convection in the air. The warm air rises, so the place becomes of low pressure area, creating a low pressure area. Cool air converges to the low pressure area, because we know that the air moves from high pressure area to low pressure area. The warm air rises, cools, and the water vapor condenses to form clouds. The bigger water drops in the cloud fall to the ground as rain or snow. Falling water droplets and rising air move vigorously to produce thunderstorm, and under certain weather condition storms may develop into cyclone. Okay, so this is the flow chart. Okay, go through this, and then we will be moving towards the exercise. Okay students, so let's move to the exercise. First question, fill in the missing word in the blank spaces in the following statements. First, wind is dash air. The answer is moving. Second, B, winds are generated due to dash heating on the earth. Uneven heating. Okay, the answer is uneven. C, near the earth's surface dash air rises up whereas dash air comes down. This we just discussed, so you can easily answer this. Near the earth's surface warm air rises up whereas cold air comes down. Okay, so in the first blank it will be warm, and in the second blank it will be cold. D, air moves from a region of dash pressure to a region of dash pressure. So in the first one, high air pressure to a region of second low air pressure. Okay, we have discussed it many times that the wind or the air moves from high pressure area to low pressure area. Okay, so air moves from a region of high air pressure to a region of low air pressure. So the first one, wind is moving air. Second, winds are generated due to uneven heating on earth. C, near the earth's surface warm air rises up whereas cold air comes down. And D, air moves from a region of high air pressure to region of low air pressure. Okay. Okay, question number 2. The question number 2 is, suggest two methods to find out wind direction at a given place. So what are the two methods? The two methods are, first, by seeing the direction of dry leaves released in air. Okay, first method is by seeing the direction of dry leaves released in the air. If you will release the dry air, so what will happen? It will flow with the air. Okay, so you can easily tell what is the direction of the wind at a given place. Okay, first one is by seeing the direction of dry leaves released in the air. Second, by seeing the direction in which it is difficult to ride a bicycle. By seeing the direction in which it is difficult to ride a bicycle. Okay, so these are the two methods to find out wind direction at a given place. You can also write it by your own if you know some other methods. Okay, there are many methods to find out the wind direction at a given place. Okay, so these are the two methods to find out wind direction at a given place. Clear, students? Question number 3. State two experiences that made you think that air exerts pressure. Okay, so the answer is, first, if we fill air in the balloon, it becomes tight, and if we try to fill more air in the balloon, it bursts, showing that air exerts pressure. Second, windows, curtains and doors, windows, curtains and doors move in the direction of wind, showing that air exerts pressure, okay. Next one, you want to buy a house. Would you like to buy a house having windows but no ventilators? Explain your answer. Okay, so the answer is, it is not a good idea to buy a house having no ventilators because warm air is lighter in weight and it rises and moves out of the house with the help of ventilators, full stop. Accordingly, if there are no ventilators, then the warm air will not get out of the house and the house will remain warm, okay, clear. Next question, question number 5. Explain why holes are made in hanging banners and hoardings. The answer is, holes in the banners and hoarding allows the air to pass through it. Holes in the banners and hoardings allow the air to pass through it. Hence, the banners and hoarding can withstand the pressure of the air, and remain intact, okay. Question number 6. How will you help your neighbors in case cyclone approaches your village, town? How will you help your neighbors in case cyclone approaches your village, town? We can help our neighbors in case of cyclone in the following ways. First, by helping them shift to a safer place. Second, by helping them to shift their necessary products, animals, to a safer place. Third, by calling on emergency numbers like fire stations, police and medical centers, okay. Next one, question number 7. What planning is required in advance to deal with the situation created by a cyclone? What planning is required in advance to deal with situation created by a cyclone? Students, this one we have already discussed, okay. So you can view the previous video and you will get the answer, okay. We have already discussed it in the previous video, so you can watch the previous video and you will get the answer there, okay. Now question number 8. Which one of the following place is unlikely to be affected by a cyclone? Okay, read the question. Which of one of the following place is unlikely, means the chances of cyclone is very rare, very less. Okay, first Chennai, second Mangaluru, or you can say Mangalore, third Amritsar, and fourth Puri. Okay, so which place is unlikely to be affected by a cyclone? The answer is third, Amritsar. Okay, why? See, there is a reason, because out of these four cities, Amritsar is the one which is far away from the sea. Okay, and the places which are near to the sea are more vulnerable to the cyclone. Okay, so the answer is Amritsar. Question number 9th. Which of the statements given below is correct? Statement number 1 is, in winter the winds flow from the land to the ocean. Statement number 2, in summer the winds flow from the land towards the ocean. Third, a cyclone is formed by a very high pressure system with very high speed winds revolving around it. Fourth, the coastline of India is not vulnerable to cyclones. The question is asking which of the following statements is correct. Now, fourth one, the coastline of India is not vulnerable to cyclones. It is a wrong statement. The most vulnerable to the cyclones are the coastlines, okay, the places that are near to the sea. Third, a cyclone is formed by a very high pressure system with very high speed winds revolving around it. It is formed but by a high pressure and a low pressure system, okay, not only because of that. Second, in summer the winds flow from land towards the ocean. No, it is wrong. In summer the winds flow from ocean towards land, because in summer the lands get heated more faster than the ocean, so the air above the land becomes more warmer and it rises up, creating low pressure area, and above the ocean it is high pressure area, so the wind moves from high pressure area to low pressure area, and the wind moves from ocean to land. Okay, first, in winter the winds flow from land to ocean. This one is correct. So the option that is correct is first, in winters the winds flow from land to ocean. Okay, students, so this concludes our chapter. Okay, we have discussed the exercise and completed at your own. Make the notes, proper notes of the chapter, and complete the exercise in your copy. Okay, and students, take care of yourself, remain inside your house. Okay, take care of yourselves. Thank you.